So next up, we got a question from Chris Roberts at CWR2 from the NARC podcast. He wants to know, are there tacos in Canada? There is one Mexican food place in our vicinity in Halifax.
Oh, we have Taco Bell.
Oh, I don't think that counts.
Oh.
If Taco Bell counts, yeah, we're lousy with those.
No, we got rid of all of them. There's only like 2 left in the whole HRM.
What?
Yeah. And they're both in the
Where am I going to go when I have to clean out?
Dude, I've been craving Taco Bell, and it's gone.
Nobody craves Taco Bell. You've been craving laxative, is what you've been craving. You're backed up. So we have one Mexican place in Halifax. I haven't eaten there. In all honesty, the first time I had Mexican food was at Nihogar in... is
that with Rip?
Yeah, with Rip in Virginia Beach. And it was amazing, and I'm terrified to eat anything up here that we might think tastes like Mexican food.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been a big Mexican food fan. Because I just thought it was Taco Bell, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't hate Taco Bell, though, so whatever.
So maybe there is tacos, maybe there isn't. We're not the best ones to ask.
There's burritos.
We don't have any Mexican friends, so I don't even know who to direct you to. I guess John's almost Mexican.
Who?
John. Strawberry Payne.
John Ennis Payne?
Yep.
He's Mexican.
Almost. He's close.
Let's move on.
So next up, we have a question from Rambox at the Rambox from Retro Fandango.
Yeah. Do you put their names down here?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Do you not watch the videos?
Nope.
I see you replied to all the comments. How do you do that without watching the videos?
I listened to the audio on the podcast, and then I responded to the comments.
Ah, well done.
I have time for podcasts, not for videos.
I hear you. He said, actually, Vintage mentioned the fact that you're too good for YouTube now.
Yeah, I responded to that.
Yep.
Yeah, and I said, no, he said it was too cool for him.
Right.
And I said, I wish it was true, but anyway.
So, hijacking Richard's question here. So he says, chicken nuggets and fried chicken are so similar, yet we put ketchup only on the former. Why?
Do you put ketchup on your chicken nuggets?
I do, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't. Well, tell him why, because I don't.
I put chicken on chicken nuggets because it's delicious, and they should be dipped. They're bite-sized, and they're held between 2 fingers. Perfect size for dipping.
Yeah, and sweet and sour sauce, not ketchup.
I don't like sweet and sour sauce because it always has those things floating in it, and I'm sure that they are part of the sweet and sour sauce, but I am always concerned that it's not.
Wow.
Because the packaging plant where that gets made, I'm sure, isn't done by the cleanest people.
Wow, let's move on.
But as to why I don't put it on fried chicken, because you eat that differently. It's not bite-sized. So if I can dunk it and fire the whole thing in my mouth, I'm putting ketchup on it.
That's a good point, though. I don't put sweet and sour sauce on my fried chicken. Good point, Richard.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I guess his answer.
Thanks for your question. So next up, we have Diego Avila, who is probably one of my favorite. I've been watching him more closely on Twitter now.
Yeah, he makes some good tweets.
Stalking, you might say.
He makes good comments on the forum, too.
He does, yeah. So it's at a Latino lawyer. I need to know, I have a question for you. Are you actually a lawyer?
Dude, he's a lawyer.
Because his wife is a doctor.
Holy crap, they got money!
Yeah.
They have some cute kids, too. Or at least one that I know of for sure.
We are not stalking you, I
Yeah.
promise. So he asks, what therapy will help a friend who only grew up with Master System and Genesis? So the easy answer to that is, if you only grew up with Master System and Genesis, you're probably not really our friend. But if you want to know what we would suggest No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you my top 5 must-play games on the Super Nintendo.
Holy cow.
What?
This is a long segment.
It is.
All right, go ahead.
Super Nintendo, because if you've only grew up with Master System and Genesis, the best spot for you to go from there to experience Nintendo in that era is the Super Nintendo. It's the best quality games. It's the way to do it there.
What a fanboy.
Fuck you. If he's looking at something to experience outside of those two.
I understand. I understand where you're going.
So you got to play Super Metroid.
Oh yeah.
You got to play Super Mario World.
Yeah.
You got to play
Link to the Past.
Link to the Past. And I would say Final Fantasy 2 if you like RPGs. If you don't like RPGs, skip Final Fantasy 2 and maybe go for Soul Blazer.
Yeah, I guess.
Or Sky Blazer.
No, I don't know those guys.
Sky Blazer's good. Donkey Kong Country.
Mega Man X.
Oh, Mega Man X. There you go. So those 5. Super Metroid, Mega Man X, Link to the Past, Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country 2.
Dude, were those all platformers except for one?
Yeah.
Wow. Big platformer fan.
I guess so.
Me too.
Try those 5. That's your intro to the Super Nintendo right there.
Yeah, that's a good way to get off Genesis.
And if you like RPGs, Final Fantasy 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Or 3.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on what you were playing on Genesis and Master System.
That's true. If hammering down Phantasy Star and Shining Force, start with Final Fantasy. And if you're playing Dynamite Heady and Rocket Knight Adventures, go with the... You like that?
Nice poll.
Go with the other ones. Thanks for your question, Diego. So, It's Rocket Sauce, at It's Rocket Sauce. Ryan Gorman asks us, will you buy an NX on day one? You take the lead on this one.
All right. Nah, I won't be. The thing I'm excited for most on the NX, I'm going to get on my Wii U, and that's Zelda. I will be getting one eventually, don't get me wrong. It would have to release with, I don't know what it... I have the PS4 library to go through right now. It's going to be a while before I get through all that. So no, but how about you?
It's if I purchase a PS4 this Christmas, likely not. If I do not purchase a PS4 this Christmas, then it will depend entirely on what games it comes with. Basically,
what would it have to come with for you to buy a day one?
Zelda, obviously. If it came with a side-scrolling Metroid, that would be a big bonus. And I'd also like to see another Wonderful 101, maybe a sequel, or Star Tropics. Because it's interesting. Star Tropics is on that list for the NES Mini. Why would they put it on there and keep it in our minds if they didn't want to?
Is the NES Mini being released in Japan?
I don't know. Must be. I would have to say yes.
Did they get Star Tropics? I don't think they got Star
They're getting it now. So yeah, for me, it's going to depend on what it launches with. If it launches with Zelda and a Metroid, specifically side-scrolling or third-person Metroid, that's probably a yes. And I would also like to see some good third-party support. I don't need Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, Battlefield, any of that stuff. But titles, even if they're just titles made specifically for the NX by those companies, as well, the price point is going to be a big one for me.
Yeah, they haven't announced that yet, have they?
No.
Right.
No. And if it mixes handheld, I had this weird hope that you'd be able to play your 3DS games on the NX on your TV. If that happens, that's a yes. It's an instant yes.
Interesting.
Because my 3DS is my favorite console right now.
Okay, cool.
So thanks for your question, Ryan. So I guess it's a maybe. Depends on a couple of things. What about you?
Yeah,
are you a day one purchase?
Sauce? I'm curious.
Because I know you already have your PS4 and you love it. So what's your next step? I don't care what anybody else is going to do.
I do. Let me know.
All right, Bonus Barrel. So at Bonus Barrel, this is probably Rob. I think he does most of the tweeting. Rob wants to know, do either of you guys collect? I find once I decided to start collecting, it got really crazy.
He's got a lot of games.
Yeah.
He's like up to like 3,000 or something.
So 4 years ago, I got back into retro games with P2, who had already been doing it for a while at that point. And I did that. I bought everything I could get my hands on, everything I thought I wanted, all the must-haves, everything. And I very quickly got overwhelmed and let down by the fact that I was buying things that had no meaning to me, and I didn't care if I ever owned them again. And so I did a purge. And I sold all of the games that I didn't want to play, I hadn't loved playing in the past, or that weren't the quote-unquote must-haves. So now, my collection now is much more focused, is much smaller, but it's all games that are good games to me. A lot of them are considered good by critics and stuff like that, but I don't really care what those people think. What matters to me is the games to me. So I'm at the point now where I'm actually thinking about cutting out the must-haves. Because I have some games that I bought that it was like, oh, you have to have this in your collection. But I'm never going to play it. And my collection isn't for you. It's not for you. It's for me. So I don't care if everybody has to have a copy of Smash Bros. I'm never going to play it. So why the fuck do I have it sitting on my shelf?
That was a reasonable response.
You know what I mean? Sorry. Anyways, yes, I do collect, but I'm focused and I'm paring down even more. And I want to be to the point when I walk into my games room and there's not a single thing on the shelf that I wouldn't be happy to put in and play. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. What I buy, what I want to play. When I get it, I don't sell it, so I guess that's collecting. But I don't just collect things to collect. I have very few games on my shelf that don't belong there, and the ones that I do are from that big haul we got that.
Exactly.
Except for Time Slip, I was going to get rid of that, but Vintage had it on his hidden gems, so I'm going to keep Time Slip now. But yeah, you're getting rid of it. You're having another purge, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I'm on the...
You have to show me those Dreamcast games before you get rid of them. I want to know.
Yeah.
Where are they at?
All of them. They're all gone. Skies of Arcadia.
That's my Skies. Don't get rid of that.
Is it? I thought I had my own.
No, if you have it here, it's mine.
Oh, okay, that's yours. Time Stalkers, Silver.
You get rid of Silver?
Well, I don't. I'm gonna sell my Dreamcast.
Dude, that's crazy.
I'm never gonna play these games.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing on there that interests you?
No. I looked through the top 25 Dreamcast games.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. You gotta look. I'll try and find some things to convince you first, and then just and then let it go if there's nothing that interests you.
Okay, you know what? I'll even throw it out there because people on Twitter tried,
these guys
and
too.
it's like they've never listened to anything I've ever said. All I got was there's great arcade ports and great fighters and great first-person shooters. None of that means I don't give a fuck. I'm never gonna play those games ever. I don't care if there's a million of them and they're all free. I'm never gonna fucking play them. I don't care how good they are. I'm never gonna play them. So if you're out there and you're a Dreamcast fan, PC Wizard, I'm looking at you. Tell me what RPGs there are. Maybe some survival horror that aren't first-person. Talking about you typing of the dead. And that's it. RPGs and survival horror. That's all I'm interested in. Or 2D. If it's 2D games, I'll consider it. But
Egg.
3D, oh yeah, Elemental Gimmick here. So yeah, maybe I will keep it.
No, you don't want it for that. I mean, that's not enough to keep the console. It's a good game.
Yeah, like, even my Saturn collection and my PS1 collection is getting pared down to RPGs and 2D games. I don't like that generation's polygons. They look like fucking vomit. Thanks for your question. Next up. Kyle.
Oh my.
From Game Time with Kyle, at Kyle_325_. He asks, do you guys prefer toilet paper roll over or under? That's easy. The only answer is over. It's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
If you put it under,
you could do it the other way.
When you put it under, then there's a chance the roll falls down, hits the ground. Having been on the ship, you might not know that, or not having been in the Navy, you know this.
How would it come off? I don't understand.
Sometimes the weight of the roll will roll. So if it's down, if it hangs below, it can actually unroll itself. And I've come to see...
What?
I've seen toilet paper that was touching the ground that had been pissed on, and it had, like, sucked the piss up to the roll. Over is the only answer. Thanks for your question, Kyle.
Over for sure.
Last up, we have Cartridge Canuck, and that's at Cartridge Canuck. He asks, what the hell is the deal with the N64 controller, a.k.a. the shitty Trident of Satan? I don't mind the N64 controller.
I don't either. It is weird. Don't get me wrong. I liked the Z button though. I was a huge fan of it back in the day, but it was the first time I'd ever used the analog stick.
Yeah,
I thought it was cool.
So if you mean by what is up with that controller, do you mean like, hey Nintendo, thanks for making the analog stick commonplace on all controllers, or do you mean I don't know what you mean?
They can break easily. The joysticks do go on them.
I think NES Payne's right on that. Nintendo designed Mario Party 2 specifically to make people do this and break their controllers.
Yeah. So, I mean, in that sense, that's probably the biggest fault for them, but I've always liked it. And it was funny because back in the day, if you had to switch up to that D-pad, it felt dirty, right? It felt like, oh, this game uses a D-pad?
Everybody's D-pads are like so tight and brand new.
D-pad.
Joysticks are all wore to hell.
What is this, Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
But,
I don't dislike it. It is awkward. And I, for the most part, always hold the thumbstick.
Me too. I love that grip. In fact, there's anyway, yeah, I like that. I like the controller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it is weird though. What do you think about it?
Yeah, why don't you tell us what you think?
Paul, I think we'll have a good opinion on that. I'm looking forward to hearing it. Considering you called it Satan's Trident.
Satan's Trident. So that's it for CC Answers.
That's everybody.